All right, so now it is correctly being live streamed to YouTube. So let me just start by welcoming everyone here. Like I said, this is probably going to be a small group, and I'm here as I am every Wednesday to answer your questions about self-publishing. You can ask me anything. I'm happy to provide some help and some support. And I do this as part of the efforts that I have to support the author community. I also, so my name is April Cox, for those of you maybe that are watching on YouTube or joining me today that have, that are just discovering my channel or what I do. I am the founder of Little Labradoodle Publishing and the creator of Self-Publishing Made Simple. So I'm going to just open it up. And so you mentioned, I'm sorry, I forget what that last question was with regard to just before we got started. Would you mind repeating that, Isabel?
Certainly. So I was inquiring if you have a template or just recommendations for what to include in an email inquiry to a potential illustrator to partner with.
Yes, absolutely. So what I would normally do, if they're not one that's already on my approved or pre-vetted list, I would start the conversation like this. I am looking for someone who to an illustrator that is willing to work on a work for hire agreement. And I have a contract already. I would love to send you, but and here's the style that I'm looking for. Are you available? Are you interested in working on this in this type of environment? So number one, they have to agree that a work for hire means, and maybe you might need to explain it to them as well. A work for hire is basically saying that they are going to give you access and rights to all of the illustrations. You would become the owner as if you created it yourself. So the illustrator doesn't retain any ownership of the artwork. They can still use the artwork in their portfolio with your permission when you deem it appropriate. But that's what a work for hire agreement is. And I do have, because you're a part of my author work group that's starting up on January 16th, you have access now to go in to the resource library that's made available for you. That's my like self-publishing vault with all of the great things that I've put together. And you will find a contract there from an author illustrator contract. So if the initial discussions are positive and the individual is willing to do that, then I would share that contract template. And if there are questions that come from that, then feel free to circle back with me. I often will jump on to a phone call or a Zoom meeting with an author and illustrator and just go through the contract and just make sure any questions are answered. There's a lot of legalese there. It is really designed to protect the author and be fair to the illustrator as well. So that's where I would start. And then from there, if you're having to go back and forth and you're not getting the kind of reception that you had hoped, you might have to go default back to maybe taking a look at some of those pre-vetted resources. One of the benefits of using the illustrators that I list in my spreadsheet is that they've already agreed to use my contract. They understand it's work for hire. They understand my requirements, that they're going to give the source files so that we can have those Photoshop files to be able to use for design, and so that you have copies of those actual source files with layers in them. And so they get it. They've been working with me for a long time. They get business, a number of projects from me every year. So that as a result of that, they really care about delivering they understand about my 12-week program means that they need to deliver and turn things around on time. Where some others might, I've had people use outside resources, which is perfectly fine, but more than not, what I find is that the illustration might take 5 months, 6 months, or more, because they're not focused on that requirement of, hey, we've got 12 weeks. So if we can't get the illustration done within 6 to 7 weeks, then that pushes you out. So you can't publish at the end of the course like others are. So that's just my 2 cents. It's worth it. And I've had some authors that come back to me after finding a really great illustrator, and that illustrator ends up on my list because they are so good and they're so easy to work with. They review the contract, they love it, and then they become, part of the fold. And I'm happy to consider that as you work to locate other people that might be worth working with.
Thank you so much, April. That was really helpful, and it gave me a lot to think about and consider, and I really appreciate it.
You are welcome, my dear. John says, I teased out looking for an illustrator that was the only agreement they wanted to do with me and my work, being that they wanted to get paid and I had all the rights, but I didn't have that much money up front. I was willing to give up commission. Yeah, so I mean, I've had a number of authors say, is there an illustrator out there that might be willing to kind of go halves with me, and they put some work in and I put some more work in, and then we share the royalties. I highly recommend not doing that. I know it can be tempting because you want to be able to move forward, and maybe the budget is lower than having somebody or paying for that much money to get your book illustrated. What I recommend instead is to find a high quality illustrator at a cost that you can afford. So if you can't afford to pay $75 for an image, which is kind of the going rate, 75, 85 a page, then is there somebody that we can find that could do it for $30 or $40 a page? And I do have a couple of illustrators on the list that might be a good option. But you can also do things like reduce the complexity of your images, maybe have less characters in your book. I recently was copied on some email going back and forth with one of my illustrators, and they came back they took my contract, they updated and provided the quote right within the contract, and they said, here you go, take a look. And when I looked at it, I thought, wow, that's kind of high. That's higher than usual for this illustrator. So I reached out and said, what's going on? Are the prices going up? Like, why is this so much higher than I'm used to seeing? And they said, well, there's a lot of characters, and the style that this author has chosen is going to be much more detailed oriented, and it's going to take a lot more effort. So that makes perfect sense to me when I get it that way. But I usually do monitor these kinds of things. And if you're looking for ways of saving money, then things that will help you have less details in the background, less characters, you can still have a beautifully illustrated book for less money. And here's one, I'm going to give you this, John. Go to 1000storybooks.com. For some of my authors who are really looking for budget options, they have a $1,000 illustration price. They'll do the illustration for your book for $1,000. Take a look at what they offer. It's a very reputable company. It is a low budget. And they do provide you with like a project manager and help walk you through it. It won't turn around as quickly as some of my other illustrators. The level of the people that are there creating the illustrations. You're not going to find people that have been doing this for 30 years or big firms, but they stand behind, and I found them to be good for the purpose that we've set out, which is saving money and trying to still get a high quality book at a low investment. So give that a try. I don't have any kind of affiliate link or anything like that. I just happened to stumble across them. I actually had a couple of meetings with the owners of the company, and I have a couple of projects in flight, but through my authors who needed budget options. I said, hey, I'll advise you and mentor you through it. Let's give it a try. I don't know. So I can't give you 100% yes that this is going to be a great option, because those projects are still in flight. But I am happy with that, with so far what I'm seeing from them. Okay. John says, thank you. I'm thinking of also doing a GoFundMe, and that might be something to think about. Sure, absolutely. Well, GoFundMe or Kickstarter is another one. We did have Lisa Furland, who is a crowdfunding consultant, spoke at the Authorpreneur Summit. And if you happen to have that pass, or you just go to my YouTube channel and look up Kickstarter, you'll see a bunch of things that I've done and interviewed her in the past. If you have the premium pass, you'll have access to the most recent summit interviews as well, and hers is one of them. All right. Anybody else have a question? Hi, Grace. How are you?
I have my mute on. I'm sorry, I was talking to myself. Okay.
Might have something over your camera as well.
Yes. It's like I was working on something, and then I set an alarm, to not miss this.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so I'm glad I was able to join. Yeah, so I'm listening to all this illustration talk.
How are you doing with yours? Are you getting any closer to selecting your illustrator?
No, I have not. I haven't needed a whole lot of illustrations. I have like 3 images for my workbook that an illustrator did for me, like from the beginning of the writing.
Okay.
And it's worked pretty well. And
Okay.
I got someone, I think it was on Fiverr, that did it for very little. And it just seemed to work for me, so I haven't needed any illustration since. Yeah. But if I do, I know to reach out to you to find out. Yes.
Okay, great. So, and I have Max with us here. Mac, I see that you're having problems with your audio and video. That's fine. If you want to post a question to the chat, I am happy to respond and provide some additional feedback. And while I wait for that, I'm just going to focus on some upcoming events that we have going on. So many of you have participated in the Authorpreneur Summit. It was amazing. 37 different speaker events over 5 days. And I had live sessions at the beginning and ending of every day. It was just awesome. I had such great feedback. And so I asked the people that attended, what kind of follow-up things are you looking to talk about? What can I do to go deeper in certain topics? And so lots of people said more about the accounting area, like the financial aspects of being a business and preparing for taxes, right? Because we get that coming up, right? So I am working to try to get some things scheduled and set up for that. I have tomorrow a meeting with Sandy Shaw, and it is free for anybody who wants to register. You can, and I don't know, I guess I can stream it. I may stream it, or you can just attend on Zoom. Just go to my website, and I'm going to just say it here, selfpubmadesimple.com. and upcoming events. If you look at that upcoming events list, I'll put it here on YouTube as well. selfpubmadesimple.com, upcoming events. So if you look at the upcoming events, you'll see that we have a session with Sandy Shaw from Brandify. Her session in the Authorpreneur Summit focused specifically on branding, messaging, and she touched on the value of Wix and how much she loved Wix. So I had a number of people come back to me and say, what is this about Wix? I thought it was just like this little like GoDaddy or Squarespace kind of website. What can it be used for? What is all this integration she was talking about? So can you do something on author websites for Wix? And so I worked it out with Sandy. She's going to be here tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm also coming back with another session about author websites using WordPress, because I do have a lot of people that are very invested in WordPress and some of the stuff that they're doing with WordPress. And I have a team member, Tammy Lempert, who is an extremely talented author, illustrator, designer, and website developer with great knowledge of WordPress. So she's going to be on. I'm just trying to sync up with her on timing, but that is coming. I also had by far the #1 watched video from the Authorpreneur Summit, and this really shocked me, was the trademark video that I had with Josh Becker. So Josh and I, during the summit, talked about trademarks. When do you need one? Do I need to apply? What do you need to watch out for? What can you trademark? And we went over a ton of information about that. So, so many people posted questions to that video and emailed me and said, oh my gosh, I needed this so badly. Thank you for doing this. Can we go deeper? Can we ask some questions with Josh? So I'll be happy to report that, yes, I actually have set up time with Josh, and I'm going to pull it up on my calendar here. I have not yet added it to the calendar on my website, so you cannot yet register it, but I will probably by tomorrow. It will be there. Let me just quickly peek at my calendar and see which day we actually are focusing on. It is just, I think it is the week after Christmas. Let me double check. Let's see. Search for Josh. Okay, so I have a meeting from it is on January 8th from 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to put that in, January 8th, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern, to talk about trademarks with Josh Becker. And to answer your question, oh, sorry, it's Becker, not Beckers. So yes, January 8th, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern. It will be also listed on my website if you check in tomorrow, and that is one that people have been requesting. So that will be out there. Tell me more, for those of you that are watching here, or even if you're watching this on replay, tell me what sessions were really resonated with you and where you want to go deeper in some of these. Today, I provided some training on Amazon ads. That was a big one. I had a couple of people that were like the gurus of Amazon ads on the summit, but I did not focus a lot on the Amazon ads how-tos. I really wanted to talk to them. That was Dave Chesson and Brian Cohen. I wanted to get really them to share their experience going from author to authorpreneur. And we dug into some personal issues, some challenges they had in their business, recommendations from a business perspective. So there, I think what an unintended result of that was that I had people saying, well, are you going to cover like on Amazon ads, how to? So over the past few days, I put together a nice presentation. And earlier today, I spent a couple of hours with my mastermind and the Summit Premium Pass holders. And I went through my approach to managing Amazon ads with intention. And I will be repeating that session, I'm sure. And if you have not, if you really want to get a link to the replay, you can go ahead and message me or email me. I'm going to put my email here. It's april@thelittleLabradoodle.com. And if you want to go ahead and get access to the replay, I'm happy to do that. However, I will be doing it again. And for those that have premium passes, that recording is going to end up getting uploaded there for you along with the slides. And I also announced during that session that I'm going to be looking for probably no more than 6 or 7 people to do some experimenting and to learn the methods of managing Amazon ads that I was teaching about. And I'm going to do it in a group format. It's going to be by application only, but that is available. And if you believe that you are somebody that would be a good fit, then you can email me. Again, I posted my email address there. Send me some links to your books. I want to see first, are your listings really ready for Amazon ads? And during the session earlier today, I went through like, what are the kinds of things that are important to have really locked in before you start Amazon ads? And I'll just give you a brief rundown of those. A great cover, a professionally edited book, in a deep understanding of your target audience, and the keywords, kind of things that would resonate with them, having done some research and know your top competitors in your niche and really understand your niche. So those are some of the things that we talked about. I had a slide, I'll share that again in a little bit if you want. But yes, if you are a good candidate, hi, Tony, welcome. If you are a good candidate for Amazon ad help and you want to be considered to be part of that very small group session, we're going to be doing 12 weeks, Amazon ads, mentoring, hands-on training, meeting weekly as a small group. And let me just pull up. I could probably find the slides really quickly and maybe show a couple of slides, but that is going to be very limited. And like I said, it's going to be by application only, because I want to make sure that you're at a point where you're not spending money when you're not truly ready. And I want a specific set of people who have really, who've got it together with their listing, their book, and they just need the hand-holding to learn and grow their knowledge of managing Amazon ads. All right, so let me find, sorry, my slides are hiding. Here we go. I'll just pop around and take a look at a couple of things here. Guys, feel free to post your questions. While we don't have a lot of people, I figured I would go in and talk a little bit about some of the stuff that's going on with me and Little Labradoodle Publishing. So here's the Amazon Ads work group that I was talking about. It is 12 weeks of lessons and hands-on activities. So it's a 3-month membership. All the sessions will be recorded. You're going to get tools and all kinds of things, some help with keywords and categories, and really drilling into managing your ads. And with, like what I said, it was, when I say intention, I'm talking about having a clear goal and understanding exactly how to go from where you are to make that happen, and how to improve the performance of those And I went into 2 hours worth of description about my approach to this managing of Amazon ads with intention. So I can't highlight it all, but this is 12 weeks. So I've got 12 like basic topics that we're going to be learning about during that 12 weeks. And each day that we get together, which will be each week will be a 90-minute session. We will be going through a little bit of knowledge, hands-on activities to set up ads, to tweak ads. You're having trouble. Oh, go ahead and share your screen. Let's take a look at it together. And you will learn from others and what they're struggling with as well in a very small group setting. I'm experimenting with this and really looking for people that might be a good fit. It does cost $4.99 to cover the activity, my time, and what we're going to do, and the effort that I put into these types of groups. So if this sounds like something that is of interest to you, please do feel free to email me again with the information about your books. Give me your listing and tell me more about where you are with Amazon ads and what you're hoping to accomplish. And if I think after a cursory review of your specific listings and stuff, if I think you might be a good candidate, then I'll reach out to you and we'll set up a call. We'll have, maybe a 30-minute slot together where we can talk through things and we can determine whether or not you're a good fit. So again, application only, but great opportunity. And I'm sure I'll be expanding on this. I'm trying to do it in a small beta kind of group because I really want this. I want to be able to support people more with their Amazon ads. And I feel like there's a real need for people to have that kind of hand-holding that I'm not really seeing done on a weekly basis and in a very small group setting. So I think that could work, and I'm just looking to try it out. If that sounds good to you, then reach out. Hi, Tony. Tell me what I can help you with. Do you have any questions for me? Tony's joining us on YouTube. For those others that are here joining live on Zoom or on YouTube, please go ahead and post your comments, post any questions you have, and let me know if there's anything specific that you'd like me to go into. All right. Okay, I'm trying to monitor a little bit of what I'm seeing here on. Okay, so Max says, I've looked into Formax for offset printing. They appear to have a quality product. Yes, they do. Since I've decided to offset print with a US-based company, I'm curious how they came to your attention. So I, like anything else, when I first got started, I was looking for US-based printers. I didn't have time to plan as much in advance to do like printing in China or overseas because I was having something. My first book was being completed in the October timeframe. So I knew there wasn't going to be any time to do China-based printing, and I really wanted to do some offset printing. I was doing a lot of research, finding, what are the companies that are good, what do other people use, and which ones are they able to, or do they feel like really provide a quality product? And Formax came up. Not only do they provide a good quality product, first of all, I didn't use them for my first book. I used Signature Printing, which is another good one. They use Jostens. They fulfill their orders through Jostens. But I did find Formax afterwards. I used them for my most recent book, A Little Sister for Brady. And I found their service to be great. The quality is great. They've done a lot with my customers, my other authors that I help. And the pricing was actually coming in lower than the other one of the other printers that I was using prior, which is I think it's Lakeside. Lakeside is another one in the US. And just, you know, based on where you are and what kind of book you're printing, I would say if you're doing US based printing, I would get a quote from Lakeside, a quote from Formax, and a quote from Signature. Those are the three kind of primary ones that I typically circle back with. Okay. We have a question about Wix websites. Go ahead. So Clarendon, how can I help you with Wix websites?
Yeah, April, my question is about Wix, how to create a website for authors, any business owners, entrepreneurs related. Your complete course will available launched, how to register websites.
So actually, I don't have a course on Wix websites, but the individual that's going to be here tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern, she does.
Okay.
She does have a course. She also, one of the things that I do all the time when I'm finding partners that I feel like they do a really good job at what they're doing, I typically say, look, I've got a bunch of authors that are always asking about Wix websites. What can we do to serve them? How can I create something, or how can you create something that I can stand behind and say, this is a good way for you to save money as an author. So I went to Sandy and I said, can you create some author website templates? And she has created some great Wix author website templates to start with. So for a few $100, I think it's $300 or $400, you can get the template and then do what you take it from there and do it, follow her course and provide the additional adjustments that you want. I also have another website developer who is my current website designer for my current website. And I went to her and said, look, I've got authors coming to me and they're spending thousands of dollars on a website. That's crazy. I don't feel like authors really need to be investing that kind of money out of the gate on a website. So what can we do to serve authors and give them something that can represent them well, but not cost a fortune? And we came up with an opportunity, like a 1 or 2 page website that, scrolls and has everything that an author needs. So she too has created a few templates and will implement the templates and charge you, get this, $250 to customize a template and give it to you. So these are the things that
Amazing.
These are the things that I do for my authors, because I want you to find those values, those gems that I have worked with over many years. And I'm all about making sure that you're not having to spend a ton of money or wasting money on things where you could get something just as good for much less. So that's so attend the session tomorrow. Take a look at what Wix can do. Sandy will go through that, and you can have an opportunity to check out her templates. Also have Glaza and the activities that she does. I can connect you with her. And you'll have plenty of options for very little outlay of cash.
April, my question is, many people's highest recharge WordPress websites make for authors, book marketing, everything. When the Wix website is easily create, easily website design for authors with earn money, generate, monetize Google AdSense very easily.
Yes.
Very easily websites.
Yes. And so Wix, what I loved about Wix And so
Yes,
what you're
ma'am.
asking is how easy is it, right? How easy to maintain? Does it? So what I love about Wix, and when I first got started, my background is as a web developer. Of course, it wasn't, current, it wasn't
Wow,
recent, but
great.
out of school, I was a programmer and a web developer.
Mm.
I remember first hearing about Wix, and I found it to be like a really simple, plug and play thing, like what I see with Squarespace or GoDaddy. But I didn't know that it had all of this extra benefit. I don't know if they just really built it up, but the way that Wix works, it plugs in things like, oh, you want a store? Check that box. Now you've got a store, and you just have to, fill out where you want or how you want to process. It's so simple. You want people to be able to book time with you, just click off the calendar, and that like plugs in. And they've got like all these things. You can start with just a very basic, but as you grow, the Wix website has all of this extra stuff. You don't have to have an external email provider because it's all included with Wix. You can manage your contacts, email, and you can have workflows where you can, have like automated emails that get delivered. You can have people signing up for your mailing lists on your Wix website. You can also, believe it or not, even host courses on your Wix website. It's crazy. So Sandy's going to show all of the things that really go into a Wix website and how easy it is to manage.
Very amazing.
Edit. So yeah, you're going to find a lot. I just love it. Now, I know that there are people who've been using WordPress for a long time and really love WordPress because they're so used to it. Learning something new doesn't make sense. So great, not a problem. I do have Tammy Lempert, who is going to be coming in and talking to those folks. Like, hey, and she is somebody that can help you to expand or create a website in WordPress as well. So those are options. As I see the need and people tell me what they need to do, then that's how I'm determining what I do to go and bring in the right people to meet the author's needs. So yeah, Max says,
April, thank you. Great, great learning from you. Tomorrow I will join the meetings. Okay, 8 EST time.
Yeah, you can absolutely feel free to join the meetings. You're cutting out a little bit, so I'm sorry, I'm having a little bit of trouble understanding and hearing you. But yeah, I think that's fine. I hope to see you tomorrow.
April,
Yep.
okay, April, I will show you I make a painting sketch. I will show you homework. My book is ready, and
Yeah, just
I will
send me the link.
hand make painting sketch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Send me the link, send it to my email, or attach your drawing. I'm happy to provide you with some feedback. Not a problem at all. Okay.
Okay. April, my mentors, my teachers invitation with you conversation. You are good workings, events, and learn about how to become a best-selling author to entrepreneurs and author tuber. Expert, inspired. Your good qualities.
Oh, thank you.
Learn about from many 1 million students, 1.3 million students from you are teaching about Amazon trainings, Amazon.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
So we'll connect.
Amazon Kindle, Amazon Kindle trainings. Plus you joined the group enablers groups, 1.3 million students Facebook group.
Okay.
About just conversation related Amazon Kindle.
Connect on
Amazon,
that.
yes.
Let's set up some time together and connect on those things. I'm having a little trouble. You're going in and out, and I'm having trouble. So I'm going to also take a look at some of the other questions. But yes, let's circle back and set up some time together. I would love to talk with you more one-on-one as well. Okay. All right. So let's see. Max says, Sandy had a helpful session with you during the Authorpreneur Summit. I hope to join you tomorrow. Good. Wonderful. Glad to have you. Grace says, I was searching for your Amazon account setup tutorial on YouTube, but I only found your Ingram Spark one. Oh, let me see if I can find it in the midst of doing some of this. I know I have it on my course platform. Grace, you're part of my course, right? So if you go in and you just search for Amazon setup,
Okay.
it will, when you're in the course and you've got all of the videos and everything on self-publishing, if you just search for something, it'll show you all the lessons that have that term in it or that talk about that term. So let me know if you can't find it. And I'll also take a quick look at YouTube and see if I can find it. It might be like KDP setup or titled a little bit different.
Okay. That's possible.
I would try looking at KDP setup, Amazon KDP setup, or avoid. Sometimes when I work with my YouTube guy that tries to help me with SEO on YouTube, the title ends up being something like, don't get taken advantage of by such and such, or don't fall into the pitfalls. And then it doesn't really, when you're trying to find something, it might make it a little harder. So let me see what I can find for this. And if I can get the link to that, I will post it here for sure. I absolutely know that it is available elsewhere. It is available certainly in the course.
I just put something in chat. Is that it? Does it look? It has some.
Is
that you?
No, I think you're probably on a different site.
Okay.
So, but I'll see what I can find for you, my dear. We'll get
No
get to the information you need.
I had another question before that.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
And it's on the top. If you scroll up just a little bit before,
Okay.
before the comment about Sandy, you'll see it.
What's your approach to advance review teams? Okay, so yes, some people want to support a book but don't have time to finish the whole book and give a review on Amazon. That is very true. Should you assign them chapters to make it easier? So, I mean, I think what you're talking about here really depends on the type of book that you have. Tell me a little bit about your book and about your platform. Do you have a number of followers that have been around? Is this, another book in your same genre that you're doing?
Yeah. So it's book in my same genre, and basically self-help type of book that talks about different aspects of managing relationship and boundaries. So so sometimes people are really interested in the book, the title, what it's about, but a lot of people seem to give me the impression like, I barely have time to read.
Right.
And, so it makes me wonder ahead of time, like, how do I solve that problem of if I have very good and willing type of individuals who want to be on my advanced reader team. I didn't know if I used the term correctly, review team, or
so some people call it the advanced reader team. Some people call it a launch team.
Okay.
There is a great interview that I did with Vicki Weber, and I think it's called something like launch, creating a launch team. And that's how she referred to it, as a launch team. And really what you have to think about is think about your audience, your people, whether it's family, friends. I mean, I know family and friends are not necessarily the best case scenario, but if you need to get reviews, it's really important to have a launch team. Best case scenario would be you find people that are already your target audience and you figure out what it is that you can do for them that will make them want to maybe be an early reader of your book. So when I talked with folks like Julie Broad and Alexa Bigwharf, who are really focused on launching books well, and a lot of them, they both, I believe, do like nonfiction books and things like that. So self-help would kind of fall in those lines. And both of them said, 6 months ahead of time before you go to market, your book should be ready that much in advance. And they plan out this long marketing, and they go through a long marketing plan. Now, maybe that's not in the cards for you. Maybe you don't have the patience for that. But if you have a couple of months or 6 weeks ahead of time, and you're giving people the opportunity to get an early, like a beta copy of your book, and they're able to skim through it, they're able to read through it, maybe they're willing to come together and give you some feedback. And then when your book launches, they would be a perfect candidate to go in and give you reviews. But you've got to build that launch team, and it takes time. It takes an investment. My recommendation is to find 100 people. And I know that probably sounds crazy, but between your family, friends, other authors in your genre that would be willing to help you out and be a part of your launch team, and maybe want to learn how to do launch teams for themselves, right? You can get authors, you can get your target audience is most important. Getting people, maybe offering in moms groups like, hey, I'm looking for people who love to read, who are looking to learn more about such and such a topic, and get an early copy of my book. And at the end of all of this, you're going to get whatever you've decided that you're going to give your launch team to incent them to provide you with feedback and help you with the process of sharing about and helping you to launch your book. If you can get 100 people, and it takes time, right? You're going to build that 100 people launch team. Yeah. If only half of them come through for you, you end up launching with 50 reviews on your book. Mm-hmm. If you have a launch team of 20 engaged people that are guaranteeing you, yes, I will do this for you, and you give them enough time ahead to read the book, mm-hmm. then by the time you launch the book, they've already got the information, and you can get 20 reviews out of the gate with 20 mm-hmm. engaged people. But it is just as important to build that list of launch team or advanced readers, and continue to grow that as part of your platform, so that you can continue to launch books really well. Think about, when J.K. Rowling goes into her group and says, hey, I'm looking for 100 or 50 people to read my book before it comes out. Everybody's scurrying, right? So, we're no J.K. Rowling. I'm no J.K. Rowling. You're not. But there are a lot of people that build up a really great following. Mm-hmm. And as you bring people along with you on your journey of writing the book, mm-hmm. share your trials, tribulations, wins, and take them with you, then those people that are going to be already invested are much more willing and more likely to agree to be part of your launch team.
Okay. So building my platform. Thank you, April. Mm-hmm. So building my platform, it's important to draw those people from, and also just starting early to talk to people or to engage them somehow, and I'll share this with you. And I've mentioned it before that when I start writing, I engaged beta readers right away. And I'm kind of glad that I did, because they were my source of encouragement. Good. When I didn't feel like writing, sometimes, So they were really there and saying, when is chapter 15, coming?
And those people are perfect to ask those beta readers, would you be willing to be on my launch team? Because that's wonderful. And what does it mean to be on a launch team or to be an advanced reader? Your beta people are part of your advanced reader team. Mm-hmm. But a launch team is like, hey, we agree that we're going to help you get the word out about your book. maybe you're sharing posts that they're willing to share to their audience. They're willing to provide a review to you that you can then post on your social media. They're willing to talk about it with other people. They're not just sharing like a picture of your book saying with nothing there. They're actually giving their opinions on and expanding on why they love the book or what they loved about it. Those kinds of things are they're the type of beta readers you want to engage with, you want to continue to build and give them special benefits. And if they're that invested already in helping you create something really magnificent, they're probably going to be just as invested in helping you get the word out about it.
Okay. And I'll also share this little bit as well, because you've, thanks for encouraging me to, keep them, interested and engaged. What I did was, as I was writing, of course, because they were keeping me encouraged to write or motivated to write, what I did was when I finished the draft, I sent them out to those beta readers, of course. So they all read them cover to cover, all 3 books. And what I did was I said to them, if you were to give a review on Amazon or anywhere, what would you say about this book? And they all gave me like a little paragraph or 3 lines, or, which was very helpful.
That's great.
So what I did, I took those and I polished it up and I just left it somewhere. And so when I gave my book out for editors to look at, I actually inserted those reviews in the front matter of my book, and but I said to myself, okay, now that I've inserted these nice reviews on the front matter of my book, can I still get these people to review me on Amazon later? I kind of
so I will just say that normally I don't put reviews from like beta readers at the front of a book, but you could. What I would normally be looking for is comments from like Midwest Book Review.
Okay.
There's also what's the other one? There's a few different reviewers that don't cost a fortune to get out there. Reader's Favorite is one, right? You can do it for free. You can post your final book for free and wait 6 weeks, 8 weeks or more, or you can pay, I think it's $60 to expedite it and get the review back from them in 2 weeks. So I would do that. I think with Midwest Book Review, it's $50 for a reader fee, and they turn it around rather quickly. There are others like if you think that your book could potentially be, an award-winning book and you really want to be taken seriously by libraries and bookstores, then perhaps something like Kirkus or School Library Journal or Book Life, which is the indie arm of Publishers Weekly. Those make for really good review sites to submit your book to. So those are the ones I would typically take the editorial reviews from and put them in like back of the book cover, interior, things like that. But the folks that you've had beta reading, normally I would just say, hey, can you put like, here's what you wrote up. Thank you so much. I'm putting it on my website. I'm putting it on social media. Would you mind transferring it over and making sure that it gets to Amazon? Okay. So yeah, that's really important.
Okay. Thanks. I really appreciate that.
Sure. Michael had a question. How does a first-time author balance how much to spend on an illustrator versus what is expected to make in return? Okay, so Michael, what kind of book are you writing? Is this a children's picture book? And so there's a number of books might have illustrations, and some of them might be chapter books, right? So that have like black and white illustrations. Some of them might be illustrated picture books. And the picture books can be different sizes. Like this is self-publishing, so we don't have those really strict guidelines that maybe traditional publishing would for how many pages it can be. However, when you think about keeping your, or working on a budget, there are some things you can do with your illustrations. And like I said, you can have less detail, have less characters, not have like really detailed backgrounds. So if there are characters, think about the Wimpy Kid books, right? I mean, those books are so popular. Think about Elephant and Piggy, right, by Mo Willems. That series is amazing. And I have one here because my granddaughter always loves Elephant and Piggy. And they're so simple. The artwork is so simple. You don't have to have really complex artwork that's really expensive. If your budget is less, then find, but make it really great artwork, high quality, but simplify it. You can also have words on one page, picture on the other. That just cuts the number of images in half. If you are doing a chapter book, maybe, you've got one image, black and white, which is less complex, typically, not always, but maybe there's one per chapter, or like in key places only. And maybe you can get away with 10 illustrations instead of the typical, what I would usually see, or what I would usually budget for is like 27 or 28 illustrations plus the cover. And a good budget for that, for like, we're talking about really high quality children's books that have received all kinds of accolades, that are, number one, are bestsellers, getting fantastic awards. One of them, Nature Ninja, was just listed in the best books of 2023 from Kirkus. I think it was 2021. We had another one that was like one of the best books from Kirkus. Now, Kirkus is a major reviewing company, right? Like we're not talking about putting together something that is really poorly done. So my focus is always really high quality, beautiful images, right? And so I typically tell people, budget a few $1,000s. If you can come up with a few $1,000s for illustrations, and then, a couple $100 for cover, that for illustrations will help you. I do have a whole video on budgeting for your project. And so if you search for budget or budgeting, I also have a downloadable budget template that you can use from my website, and the link to it is on that video here on YouTube. So you can go through and kind of get an understanding of what it's going to cost you, how you can break things up and reduce the price. Regardless, though, I mean, you need to, if you're going in self-funded, let's just say you only have $1,000 for illustrations. Now that's 1/3 of what I would recommend you budget, but go to 1000storybooks.com and utilize theirs. And by the time you add a really high quality editor and a graphic designer, you're probably looking at a couple of $1,000s in the end. That's not bad at all for a children's book. And it might, you do have some time to pay back, right? You need to sell some books to get that. But typically you'll be able to turn that around between school visits or events. And for those that say, you know what, I need to raise the money before I actually publish the book, then take a good look at some of the Kickstarter videos that I have out there. We have people, some of my authors are raising $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 to pull their books together. And they get the money up front. They use that money to fund the illustrations, the design, and all of the things they need to do. You just need to realize that you are going to need to have a platform and bring backers to the Kickstarter. Don't expect that you can just post it. and expect people to just flock to it and help back you, right? It's kind of like uploading a book to Amazon, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, why isn't anybody buying it, right? You've got to be there to market and grow and make a case. If you're not extremely passionate about your book, no one else is going to be. If you are passionate about your book, share your journey. People will be invested in what you're doing. Let your family, friends, others know. Introduce yourself when you join communities. Introduce yourself as an aspiring author. I'm writing a children's book. My name is, and this week has been a little rough. I'm having, I'm getting some writer's block or whatever. Get people, if you want to follow me on my journey, here's a link to my page. Figure ways to build that support, build your platform, because once you do, it's going to be that much easier to launch new books and to fund new books. And that's going to be the most important thing that you can learn from the Authorpreneur Summit and from everything that I'm sharing with you is you need to build a platform. So that means talking about your book. It means sharing about your book. It means stepping a little bit outside your comfort zone and learning a little bit about marketing. And that is the best best advice that I can provide. It's not going to be easy and comfortable, but you can do it. And I have helped more than 1,500 authors do just that. This year, I think I'm at 192 books so far published on behalf of my authors. There are people doing it, and I've got these. And if you're concerned or you're like, I don't know what to do, consider my author work group that's coming up on January 16th. We go through 12 weeks together, all the hand-holding, every step of the way. You get all the tools and templates and contracts and everything. And we get together actually twice a week. And we go through your questions and I do some hands-on stuff with you guys. You have videos and all kinds of tools and things that you can learn, and it makes it so much easier. You get the support, you get to take this community of amazing other children's book authors and other, others that are doing different types of books are also part of that. Typically, like I'd say 80% of them or 85% are usually children's book authors, because that tends to be the people that are getting stuck that tend to gravitate towards my courses. But you can do this. You can absolutely do this. And if there's something I can help you with, keep coming to these sessions. You can set up a consult or a discovery call. And if there's something that I can do to help you, I would be certainly happy to talk more about mentoring or coaching. Okay. And I am over my time. I just want to say thank you so much for attending. I want to wish you a very happy holiday. If you really are getting value from these sessions that we're having together, will you do me a favor? Will you share and tell people, hey, if people ask you, what are you doing? How are you learning? Who do you go to? Tell people about it. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Share the videos that really speak to you. My hope is to increase the number of followers and the traffic on my channel. The more I can do that, the more that YouTube algorithm will see and go, oh, we need to send more people over. My goal is to really help more people, continue to grow the channel, and be able to fund even better speakers, continue to grow and bring more and more to you for more value. So thank you all so much. I really appreciate you, and have a wonderful holiday season. I'm going to be off the week of Christmas, so I'll be back working again around the 3rd. So Christmas week, there won't be any lives on Wednesday. I'm sorry, guys. So we're going to take that off. I want you to enjoy your family and just have a wonderful holiday. Here's to a wonderful new year and lots of learning and great new books being published. Have a wonderful evening.